Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at noon.
Right now at noon, U.S. officials say a Ukrainian delegation has agreed with the U.S. on the terms of a potential peace deal with Russia. The busiest Thanksgiving travel day of the year is underway, and we've got to look at travel conditions and accidents. And it is overcast but quiet, but we are bracing for strong winds tomorrow and snow later this week. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us here at noon. I'm Natalie Bumke. Today is the kickoff to the busy Thanksgiving travel week, and the roads are going to be packed. Right now is a peak time for drivers to hit the road, so we wanted to check out those travel times. I've also been looking at accidents, and it looks like we're all in the clear for all of our major interstates. So let's check those travel times for you at this hour. It looks like the Kennedy, if you're coming in from the big airport, 34 minutes. On the Eisenhower in from 390, 36 minutes. On the Stevenson, if you're coming to the drive from I-355, we're looking at 32 minutes. And on the Dan Ryan coming in from 95th, 32 minutes. And as I said, no major accidents on any of your interstates at this time. All right, the fog has lifted for the most part. It was pretty foggy and kind of drizzly out there earlier this morning. Meteorologist Caitlin Cody has a check of the forecast.
It has been a very foggy start to our day. We had heavy rain last night into this morning. We had ponding and puddling on the roadways. Right now we are dry, but we have the chance for a little bit of wet weather returning this evening. And the bigger story is going to be a strong cold front that moves through, changing our weather starting tonight through the rest of the week. Cold air is settling in. So for today, low 50s, which means you got to get outside and soak it in because it is going to be so mild, even though we do still have the dense cloud cover, and that's not going anywhere. Temperatures are plummeting over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, I mentioned that cold front. Well, we have a wind advisory already in place because of that. Winds tomorrow could be approaching 40, if not 50 miles per hour plus. Temperatures during the day are going to be in the mid, if not low 30s, even by later in the afternoon. And then on Thursday for Thanksgiving, 32 degrees as our high, most of the day in the 20s. Starting off with actual temperatures in the 20s, by the way, for turkey trots in the morning. It's going to feel like you could be in the single digits. Still going to be a gusty day as well. We'll take a look at your full 7-day forecast, including when we could see accumulating snowfall by the weekend ahead.
Thank you, Caitlin. Let's take a live look at the Dan Ryan right now. You can see, boy, the foggy skies over the city still. But the good news, traffic is moving smoothly. It's not just the roads that are going to be busy today. Millions of people will pass through the terminals to get to their Thanksgiving destination. Gabriella Primus has a look at the action.
It won't just be busy here at O'Hare, it'll be busy at Midway and airports nationwide. In fact, the FAA is predicting that this is going to be the busiest Thanksgiving travel period in the last 15 years. And the Chicago Department of Aviation agrees. They say it's definitely going to be busy. In fact, it's the busiest time in history, expecting close to 2 million travelers to go through both airports, O'Hare and Midway. That's about 1.6 million passengers at O'Hare and about 350,000 at Midway. Now, these numbers will be contributing to the overall total for the year. That is expected to be the largest turnout yet for both airports. AAA expects roughly 82 million people to travel 50 miles or more this week nationwide, with at least 73 million on the roads, which would be a record. They say the worst time to travel is Tuesday between noon and 9 p.m. and Wednesday between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. The worst time to return home is Sunday between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. I chatted with a TSA spokesperson about what travelers should expect post the government shutdown.
We really worked hard to minimize operational impacts during that shutdown, but I think everyone was aware officers showed up every day, even when they were not getting paid. But the good news is government is reopened, paychecks are out, people are getting paid, our officers are happy to be at work.
Now, CDA says that they're trying to make things a little bit more enjoyable for families going through both O'Hare and Midway, adding a couple new exhibits as well as some light entertainment like bands and some kid activities for families who are, again, just trying to get to their destination. Gabriella Primus, Fox 32, Chicago.
Morgan Geyser, who was convicted in the Slender Man stabbing about a decade ago, has agreed to waive extradition. That means she will be moved back to Wisconsin. She was in court today for an extradition hearing after she was taken into custody in Posen Sunday night. Police say she escaped a group home in Madison, Wisconsin. Investigators say an employee at a truck stop noticed a man and a woman sleeping on the property and called 911. Officers later confirmed through fingerprints that the pair was Chad Mecca and Morgan Geyser. Posen's police chief says Geyser and Mecca took a Greyhound bus from Wisconsin to Chicago and then walked the rest of the way to the suburbs. We're following some breaking news. Ukraine has agreed to a peace deal that would end the war with Russia. This is according to a U.S. official with details of the proposal. Fox News is reporting a new version of the deal was agreed upon. It was apparently developed with Secretary of State Marco Rubio and included input from Ukraine and other officials. The developments follow a deadly attack launched by Russia overnight. Caroline Shively has the latest from Washington.
A U.S. official says Ukraine has signed on to an American-backed peace plan. But the same can't be said for Russian President Vladimir Putin, who sent 22 missiles and 460 drones into Kyiv overnight, killing at least 7 people.
Does he actually want to end this war, or is he going to continue to kill as many people as necessary until he can conquer Ukraine and drag it back under the Kremlin?
Ukraine, meanwhile, launched an attack that killed 3 in southern Russia.
It doesn't seem like we're getting anywhere very quickly. In fact, maybe going backwards.
Critics said the initial 28-point plan presented by the U.S. heavily favored Russia. But a U.S. official tells Fox, after some fine-tuning, the Ukrainians are on board, with minor details to be sorted out.
I think that they're just going to squabble about where the ceasefire line is. But I think this time Trump is going to get a peace deal.
Russia reportedly liked the original plan, and it could be hard to convince Putin to accept the Ukrainian negotiated changes. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll met with the Russian delegation in Abu Dhabi Tuesday as U.S. negotiators try to convince their counterparts to end the nearly 4-year war.
Unless Europe and the United States decide to, take a different tack, this is where we end up, is negotiating a peace deal from the reality.
A Ukrainian official says Volodymyr Zelensky will soon head to the U.S. to finalize a deal directly with President Trump. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox 32, Chicago.
2 aldermen are pushing for change following that teen takeover that turned deadly this past weekend. A 14-year-old was killed, several others hurt on Friday. Police say a large crowd of teens flooded the loop shortly after the city's tree lighting celebration. Now, Alderman William Hall is introducing a proposal that would force major platforms like TikTok and Instagram to respond when the city flags posts promoting illegal teen gatherings.
And in this situation, they did not do their job. If the safety guidelines are not being adhered to, then where's the accountability and responsibility on the companies? We have a very 5-star approach to cybersecurity. We want to lift up our police officers. And if the police are asking for help and the police are not getting help, then how can we serve and protect efficiently?
Second Ward Alderman Brian Hopkins is pushing once again for a snap curfew that would let police quickly restrict minors from certain areas. The idea did pass City Council earlier this year, but it was vetoed by the mayor. There is a $10,000 reward still standing for any information leading to any arrests in the shootings. Today, the man accused with stealing a Cicero ambulance made his first court appearance. Police say Lamont Hill took that ambulance from Loretto Hospital and led officers on a chase earlier this month. Hill is facing 19 charges, including vehicular hijacking, aggravated battery of police officers, kidnapping, and damaging property. A Dalton mother is still recovering after she was discharged from an Indiana hospital while in active labor. This is a story that we have been following since the very beginning. Leon and Mercedes Wells, they were sent home from Franciscan Crown Point after they called ahead and told the hospital they were in active labor. But once they arrived, the expectant mother said she was ignored and told to leave. Not long after, Wells delivered her baby in the car on the expressway. Now, State Representative Robin Kelly is introducing new legislation to make sure this does not happen again.
The Wells Act stands for the Women Expansion for Learning and Labor Safety. The Wells Act aims to address systemic issues around maternal care, racial disparities, and hospital accountability. Specifically, it urges hospitals to develop and implement a safe discharge labor plan that includes clinical justification for discharge and patient understanding.
I felt ignored. I felt treated less than human. And no one should have to go through that. And no one should be able to turn a woman that's in pain, in agony, and that's begging to be cared for with basic care and be able to lay in a comfortable bed while delivering my child. Pushed out of that to having to sit upright and deliver my baby in the car with my husband's assistance.
The doctor and nurse involved are no longer employed by the hospital. Hospital says it has mandated cultural competency training for all labor and delivery staff. Cook County unveiling major upgrades to the Park Forest firefighter training site. Board President Tony Preckwinkle and Congresswoman Robin Kelly were there for the ribbon cutting ceremony this morning. The training site got a new water main along with upgrades to the outside and the inside of the building. The funds came from the Build Up Cook program. The Park Forest Fire Chief says the upgrades give firefighters state-of-the-art training.
Our dream is to provide an exceptional training environment for not only the Southland but the Chicagoland region. There is no doubt in my mind that this facility will help accomplish our goals while providing better trained firefighters to the Southland region.
$500,000 was allocated for the project, and the county says the upgrades came in under budget. Santa's coolest ride is hitting the road today. The Allstate CTA Holiday Bus is back for the 2025 season, rolling out with a new exterior wrap, brighter lights, and a fully decked interior featuring Santa and his elves. This is the holiday train, but the bus will be spreading holiday cheer on 19 bus routes this season. The holiday train also returns Friday, running on 8 rail lines. For schedules and trackers, you can visit our website, fox32chicago.com. More news right here on Fox 32 News at Noon. In France, another break in the case into those stolen jewels from the Louvre Museum. The new arrests just announced by police. And how artificial intelligence is helping build the turkey farm of the future. We have some developing news. 4 more arrests are made in connection with the jewel heist at the Louvre Museum in Paris. A Paris prosecutor said 2 men and 2 women were taken into custody. The items, which are valued at around $102 million, have yet to be recovered. Operation Southern Spear continues in the Caribbean as President Trump considers speaking with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. More foreign airlines in the meantime are canceling flights to Venezuela as President Trump ramps up pressure on the Maduro regime. But according to a report from Axios, the president has told his advisors he plans to speak directly with the Venezuelan leader about his war on narco-terrorism. This despite the State Department designating a cartel linked to Maduro as a foreign terrorist organization.
That cartel is essentially a government of Venezuela cartel. And secondly, these various narco cartels are hand in glove with various terrorist organizations.
The Maduro regime has denied the existence of the cartel and says it would not be deterred by threats from the U.S. The White House says strikes on suspected drug smuggling boats in the region will continue despite concerns from some lawmakers. The White House preparing to pitch a plan to extend Affordable Care Act insurance premium subsidies. The proposal would help people pay for coverage for 2 more years. The subsidies were at the heart of Democrats' demands during the government shutdown that extended earlier this month. Most of them had insisted on a straight extension of the tax credits, which expire at the end of the year. Today, President Trump pardoned 2 very lucky turkeys in the White House Rose Garden. The pair, named Gobble and Waddle, will be saved from the Thanksgiving table. The birds come from North Carolina this year. Waddle met with reporters in the briefing room prior to the pardoning alongside Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt and her son. Super cute there. The turkeys' names were decided by a poll from the First Lady's social media accounts. That turkey's like a cool cucumber there. Turkey Day, though, could be going high tech. More turkey farms hand scan their birds located in their flocks for health issues every day, sometimes twice a day. Time consuming, right? But now a new study finds farmers can use a small drone armed with a camera and artificial intelligence to keep tabs on their turkeys. The AI can monitor behaviors like feeding, sitting, wing flapping, and more.
And so the idea would be that if you, over time, you see trends of feeding, sitting that vary or that are alarming, maybe they are going down, that can be an alert for the farmer to check on whether there is any issue.
According to the study, the system was able to accurately identify behaviors among the turkeys 98% of the time. Teams are hoping the technology will help solve labor shortages and increase profitability. All right, time now to give you a live look outside. And boy, we just can't kick those gray conditions. Fox 32 meteorologist Caitlin Cody has a quick check of the forecast.
It's cloudy out there this early afternoon. The clouds, they're sticking with us through the day, but so are the mild temperatures, and that's our silver lining for our forecast today. Behind me, you can see that most of the rain has moved east, but we definitely are still going to be gray outside. Now, as far as temperatures go, low 50s expected to be our high today, but we have big changes happening as soon as tonight into tomorrow, and a long stretch of 30s is in front of us. So let's time this out, including when our next round of wet weather returns. As we head on into this afternoon, 4 o'clock, temperatures are ranging in the low 50s for most. By 7, we're starting to see some green return. A little bit of light rain is possible this evening. And then tonight, as temperatures drop down into the 30s, snow is possible. We have the chance for snow tonight and early tomorrow especially. It's also going to be very gusty and cold. So tomorrow, this is 11:30, so lunchtime tomorrow, temperatures are in the mid to upper 30s. Not the 50s. Then we get into the evening and we're starting to see the low 30s return. And by the way, tomorrow is the day that we have a wind advisory in place. The winds are going to ramp up starting tonight and throughout the day tomorrow. Very strong wind gusts, 40, 50 miles per hour plus possible as this system moves by. So make sure you bring in all of those Christmas decorations that aren't locked down because they could blow away tomorrow. As we head on into tomorrow evening, 9 p.m., temperatures starting to drop down into the 20s. And of course, this is going to carry us into Thursday morning, Thanksgiving morning. So if you have a turkey trot, temperatures in the 20s to start off the day, feeling like you could be in the single digits. Highs in the afternoon on Thanksgiving right around freezing. Here's the good news. Thursday and Friday are looking dry. Definitely going to be cold, but at least we don't have any wet weather to deal with. Now, these temperatures, they're going to stay cold through the weekend, but this weekend is when we have the potential for accumulating snowfall. Even starting Friday night through the weekend, wet weather is going to be here with that potential for some impacts because of snow. I'll show you that on your 7-day forecast ahead.
Thank you, Caitlin. Coming up on the news at noon, doctors link a sleep disorder to an increased risk of dementia. And a major U.S. beef supplier closes its doors. What it could mean for your next steak dinner. In today's Health Watch, a new study finds that untreated sleep apnea may double a person's risk of developing Parkinson's disease. Researchers analyzed data from 11 million U.S. veterans and discovered that those diagnosed with sleep apnea but not using a CPAP machine regularly had nearly twice the risk. Scientists say reduced oxygen flow during sleep may play a role in the development of Parkinson's. That's a progressive neurological disorder. Doctors are urging patients to use CPAP devices, noting that those machines are now easier to use and more effective than years past. Well, it may seem like every family and really every friend group is impacted in some way by cancer. And this could explain why. According to a new Gallup poll, nearly 10% of U.S. adults have reported a cancer diagnosis in their lifetime. That is the highest rate since the organization began tracking cancer case reports more than 17 years ago. Researchers think part of the increase is due to people living longer after their diagnosis, thanks to new treatments that have either slowed their cancer or put them in remission. The CBD component of cannabis might help protect the livers of heavy drinkers. Doctors say CBD, which is found in cannabis, calms inflammation and helps reduce liver scarring. Researchers do warn that marijuana comes with its own risks and that heavy drinkers should not jump to smoking as a precaution. America's biggest meat supplier is closing one of its largest processing plants as prices remain high and the U.S. cattle herd is at its lowest level in 7 decades. Tonya J. Powers has more from New York.
We're going to bring the cost of beef down.
The U.S. is the world's biggest beef producer and supplies much of the world's red meat. But now the country is facing a beef crisis. Prices are up. The cattle herd is at its lowest level in 7 decades, and there could be supply issues coming soon after Tyson Foods announced the closure of one of its largest beef processing plants, saying they expect to lose at least $400 million on beef next year.
We've opened up 5 million acres of grazing land. We're distributing processing around the country. We're here to support our cattle ranchers.
The White House says help is on the way, and it's focused on getting prices down. But Democrats on Capitol Hill claim the administration's policies created this issue.
We know in the midst of this affordability crisis, people are struggling with food and having to make decisions about whether to put food on the table.
Ranchers also say a big part of the problem is market consolidation. Tyson and 3 other meat packers process the overwhelming majority of America's beef, and the Justice Department is now investigating those companies for price fixing.
There's no competition amongst the market. They're completely consolidated, owning like 85% of the beef industry, and we don't have a choice.
Some ranchers say with no relief in sight, they're thinking about finding new jobs.
It turns into a what do I do? I've got bills to pay.
Right now, a pound of ground beef is 11% more expensive than it was last year. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox 32, Chicago.
Time now is 12:26. We've got more news on the way this noon when we come back. The Fox. Welcome back. Here's a look at some of the top stories we're following today at noon. Morgan Geyser, who was convicted in the Slender Man stabbing more than a decade ago, has waived extradition. So that means she has agreed to be moved back to Wisconsin. Geyser was taken into custody in Posen Sunday night after police say she escaped a group home in Madison, Wisconsin. She was just 12 years old back in 2014 when she and a friend stabbed a girl 19 times to try and appease the fictional character Slender Man. The victim did survive. A major development in the war between Russia and Ukraine. The White House says Ukraine has agreed to a peace plan to end the conflict. This comes after the U.S. officials negotiated with Ukrainian leaders in Switzerland over the weekend. A U.S. official says there are still some minor details that need to be worked out, and Ukraine's president will reportedly come to the U.S. soon to finalize it. Russia still has to agree to the plan. Today is the start of the busy Thanksgiving travel season, and a record number of people are expected to hit the roads and take to the skies. According to the Chicago Department of Aviation, nearly 2 million people will pass through O'Hare and Midway airports from now until December 1st. The FAA says nearly 18 million people will be screened at airports nationwide, which would be the most in 15 years. AAA also expecting 73 million people to hit the roads. So what will those conditions be like if you're flying or driving? Meteorologist Caitlin Cody has another look at the forecast.
It has been a very gray day so far. We started off with some heavy rain, and then we had fog, and now we have the clouds and mild temperatures to look forward to for the rest of the day. Temperatures are expected to be in the low 50s, which, keep in mind, normal high 44. So we are almost 10 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. Even though it's not the best looking day, it's still going to feel good. Tonight, we're dropping down into the 30s, and the wind is going to start to ramp up. We have the chance for a little bit of wet weather tonight and tomorrow as well, in the form of, first, some drizzle turning over to snow. We have the chance for some light snow tomorrow, especially the first half of the day. Temperatures are only going to be in the 30s tomorrow, and it's going to be a windy day. I'm going to show you the winds in a moment, but first let me show you why the winds are going to be increasing. This low pressure system is chugging on by, completely changing our forecast, not only tomorrow, but through the rest of the week and into early next week. Very cold temperatures, highs in the 30s, lows in the 20s are on the way, and unfortunately, we have more snow in the forecast as we head into the weekend too. So a bumpy ride ahead. First of all, a wind advisory is already in place for tomorrow. Starting tonight through tomorrow, we're going to have strong gusty winds. Tomorrow we could see winds at 45 to 50 miles per hour plus. These gusts are going to remain strong throughout the entire day. So let's time it out for you. As mentioned, tonight we're seeing those winds around 25 to 30 miles per hour, and then tomorrow during the day, 45 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts plus possible. And notice, it's all day long. We're going to have the strong wind slowly dying down by tomorrow night with winds around 30 to 35 miles per hour, but that continues into Thanksgiving as well, and Thanksgiving is going to be very cold. 7-day outlook shows a high of only 32. So freezing as our high on Thanksgiving, starting off at 26. Friday's looking cold too. We could drop down to 22 degrees Friday morning with a high of only 31. Then we have the chance for accumulating snowfall Friday night, and this weekend could be impacted travel-wise by snow. Temperatures in the mid-30s. As this gets closer, we will nail down that forecast for how much snow we expect, but wet weather even into the beginning of next week with a high of 33.
A big donation to help address hunger in our communities. Today, the owner and operator of the Chick-fil-A in the South Loop presented a $25,000 check to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. The depository says this donation was especially important due to the recent pause in SNAP benefits and rising costs.
Everything is more expensive for our families right now. Grocery costs are going up, rent is going up, and the dollar just isn't going as far. And that's why we're so grateful to have partners to help us stand with those families.
The Chick-fil-A owner also made a $25,000 donation to the Northern Illinois Food Bank. When you think about the turkey, the mashed potatoes, brown gravy, obviously that's your Thanksgiving meal. But one spot in Schaumburg is turning that holiday classic into a pizza. Sylvia caught up with Fredo's Kitchen about their viral Thanksgiving pie.
And we are joined by Senior Chef Joe Gattuso of Fredo's Personal Chef Catering and Fredo's Kitchen. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
You were here last year. We were talking about your cheesy bread, which we're going to get to in a minute. But this all came about because you guys started doing this Thanksgiving pizza, and then we saw something about it. We were talking about it on the news, and a lot of people have gone nuts over this thing.
Yes.
Explain, how did this all come about?
So it was a few, like a while ago. I don't remember exactly how many years, but we always do special pizzas on Saturdays, and we do a new one every month. And we thought for November, how could we kind of try to incorporate Thanksgiving, because we wanted to sell more of our turkey caterings, and so we decided, let's put a whole Thanksgiving dinner on a pizza.
Okay, so did somebody say, let's put it on a pizza and let's see if this works? And then you tasted it, and what did you think?
Oh, I mean, it's I think the best thing we do all year.
Really? And people go nuts over this.
Absolutely crazy. There would be riots in the streets if we didn't sell it. You know?
My gosh. Okay, so if we can get a close-up shot of this, look at this, and look at the crust on this too. Okay, so remind everybody, what exactly is on your Thanksgiving pizza?
Yeah, so the base sauce is a traditional turkey gravy. Then we have mashed potatoes, our herb roasted turkey breast, and a mozzarella and cheddar cheese blend.
I love it. So instead of pizza sauce, we're doing gravy.
Yes.
Okay. And this sells out, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, every Saturday.
Every Saturday. And this is only going through November? Mm-hmm. So if people want to get some, they better get in there sooner than later.
We have one more Saturday coming up.
That's crazy. Okay, and then, you know, pizza is just one of the many things you do. It's been so much fun. You brought a few other examples. Kind of walk me through what you brought.
Yeah, so here I have our standard, like, Thanksgiving turkey bar. People order this. A lot of times pre-orders, you come pick it up for your Thanksgiving meal. We have our turkey, our gravy, our mashed potatoes, and our corn. Kind of try to get a little bit of all the important stuff in there.
So you can order all this for Thanksgiving, huh? Okay.
Like, this is just a nice big pan of our turkey breast.
Here,
always super juicy, never dry.
Ooh,
we have a very special recipe for it.
Okay, what else you got?
Here I have a couple of our desserts. We just started doing custom brownies. So we have our sprinkle brownie and our mocha brownie, which are very, very delicious desserts. One with kind of a darker chocolatey flavor, and one little brighter, a little more sugary with the sprinkles.
That is absolutely beautiful. And finally,
we have our giant 13-inch mozzarella stick that we sell on Sundays.
So this is the other thing they're known for. Tell everybody why. Is this going to work for us?
I hope so.
Let's go.
Fingers crossed.
Tell me what to do.
Let's see if we can just break it in half and pull.
Okay. And there's a reason why this is so popular, right?
It broke.
The last time, that's okay.
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, the last time this thing pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled. Look at this.
I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of cheese in there.
Oh my gosh. This is really popular. Does this come with like a tomato dunking sauce, or you just eat it as is?
So it comes with marinara or salsa verde, since we do taco seasoning and mozzarella and Monterey Jack cheese in it.
Okay, I love this because it's a little something different to order for Thanksgiving. If you want the pizza, if you want the turkey, it's all there. Where should people go for more information to place their order? How late can they do this?
So for Thanksgiving, we're coming up right on the deadline. Pretty much today's the last day. But you could also, we have that catering bar all year, so you can order it whenever you want. A lot of people do it for Christmas as well.
Okay.
And then the pizza slice, we got one more day. One more Saturday.
One more Saturday. You better get in there. Great to see you again. Happy holidays. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with for Christmas.
Absolutely.
All the pressure's on. We'll be right back.
What?
Hey, welcome back. Let's check the New York Stock Exchange. Right now, the Dow Jones is trading at 543. We are up. And now it's time to look at your business headlines with CJ Papa.
The race for AI. Amazon has pledged $50 billion to expand AI infrastructure and supercomputing for the U.S. government. The tech giant will break ground on the project next year, set to build nearly 1.3 gigawatts of new AI and computing capacity through data centers. The average cost of a new car hitting an all-time high for the first time, close to $50,000. The average transaction price for a new vehicle in October was $49,105. That's a year-over-year increase of 3.1%. Average monthly payments have also jumped by 3.2% from a year ago for an average of $766 per month. The average vehicle is sitting on a lot for about 60 days, which is considered acceptable. But dealers are offering some discounts that last month averaged $2,240. And OpenAI CEO Sam Altman and Apple designer Johnny Ive joining forces to create a new pocket-sized, screenless AI device. It's designed to be simple, but we have no idea what it will look like. Ive says his AI stealth project, already in prototype, will be unveiled within 2 years. Altman, who's working with the designer, says the prototype is elegantly simple with a touch of whimsy. That's business. CJ Papa, Fox 32, Chicago.
Our noon show will be wrapping up in just about 20 minutes, but Chicago Live is just getting started. Anita Blanton standing by with a look at what's ahead. Hey, Anita.
Hey, Natalie. Yeah, this may be a short holiday week for many people, but of course, there's still a lot going on. Of course, we're going to talk about the topic that's on so many minds. If you plan to spend the next few days maybe outside of your home, off of the couch, yes, that would be the weather. We're going to bring in our chief meteorologist, Emily Walls, to talk about any tricky travel days that you may have ahead. We're also bringing in Gas Buddy to talk about some relief from the pain at the pump that so many have been experiencing. Yes, relief. It is a rare gift. We'll take it. And speaking of experiences, for years, many people have felt that they were having an encounter from a presence, shall we say, from the unknown, begging for answers. These folks have really gotten few and far between answers there, but there's a much anticipated documentary that's getting ready to come out. It is poised to really get conversations going. Our own Scott Snyder is going to give us a preview of his special report on the new documentary, Age of Disclosure. For all my sci-fi folks, you do not want to miss that. He'll be here to shed some light on that and what he found out. I'm also talking with a housing organizer with Southside Together about what comes next for residents of an apartment building here on the South Shore raided by federal agents who have now unionized. Don't hear about that too often. And we're waiting on a press conference to announce a civil lawsuit for the secret videotaping of multiple medical patients at a chiropractic business in Batavia. It is a story that we have followed from the very beginning, every step of the way, for so many people whose lives have been changed. And we're going to be there just as soon as we have the live opportunity. We will take you there. So we'll have all of that and more beginning at 1 until 4 o'clock online here for Chicago Live. But I'll send it back to you, Nat, for now.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Anita. A forgotten Chicago cocktail making a big comeback just in time for your holiday parties. Coming up, we're live in studio with the owner behind the revival of Cohasset Punch and what festive drinks you can use to make it with.
Fox Local.
Today, we're bringing back a taste of old Chicago, a historical 1890s cocktail called Cohasset. Cohasset Punch has been revived just in time for the holidays. And joining us now is the owner behind the comeback, Greg Shutters, to show us how the classic liqueur fits into modern holiday cocktails.
Yes.
Greg, this is such a fun story.
Thank you.
I first read about you last year in the Chicago Tribune and how you discovered this old recipe and you became obsessed with trying to figure out how it was made. Kind of take me down that road, how you discovered this.
Sure. So I got really interested. You know, I love local history. I love cocktail history. And I kept seeing this name over and over again, Cohasset Punch, being talked about as like a, you know, Chicago-based, you know, both cocktail, but also bottled liqueur.
Okay.
And so I started to look into old newspaper articles and trade journals, and it was mentioned quite a bit. And I, you know, pieced together the formula as it would have tasted. You know, and
in the 1890s.
1890s, yeah. It was created down here in the Loop. There was a guy by the name of Lewis Williams who was vacationing out in Cohasset, Massachusetts, overheard some people talking about how New England made the best rum punch, and he saw that as a challenge, sent a telegram to his business partner in Chicago to try and one-up the, you know, the Boston crowd, and created this, and it was made for, you know, about 90 years, you know, with a break during Prohibition, but
and so you have bottled it up.
Yes.
What you believe is the original recipe. What does it taste like?
So there's a lot of cherry, there's some stone fruit, you know, like peach, apricot, plum, some citrus in there, a little orange, a little lemon. It's very complex. It's an aged rum base, so you've got, you know, some complexity from that, a little bit of that sugar cane, a little bit of that, you know, like vanilla from, you know, from like a bourbon barrel type thing you get. And so this is, you know, it is sort of its own drink. Like it is a liqueur, but it's also a bottled cocktail. So traditionally what you would do is you would just take some ice and you just add a little bit to a mixing glass. And you can, you know, you don't have to be fancy and have a mixing glass. You can just use a pint glass or something. But then you take, you know, about 3 ounces or so of this.
Okay.
And then I'm just knocking into stuff here. There we go. But then you just take some ice and it dilutes it just a little bit, chills it down. It's really good cold. And then that's really all you need to do. And the traditional garnish was always a peach slice.
I love this long spoon, too. That always gets me. Every time bartenders have that really long spoon.
Yeah, it makes it really easy. But again, you don't need the fancy equipment.
Right.
You know, you just need a bottle and some ice. But then you just strain into a little cocktail coupe here.
And then you garnish it with a peach.
Garnish it with the peach, and it goes really well together. The peach kind of marinates in the drink while you're, you know, while you're drinking it, and you eat it at the end, and it's really, really nice.
Okay, you've put together some additional recipes. So for your holiday party, you want to pick this up. You don't want to drink it, quote unquote, straight. You can mix it with what, Greg?
Yes, so this is 60 proof. It's sort of like a Manhattan kind of strength. So that's a little strong for some people. So we have sort of a party punch, and this is actually based on a recipe that was sent into the Chicago Tribune several years ago. Somebody whose family, you know, makes Cohasset punch with some lemon lime soda, some fruit, you know, like a diced pineapple, peach, and maraschino cherries, and then a little bit of lemon juice to balance it out so it's not too sweet. And it's really, you know, it's a really great little
I'll let you try
sipper.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
About all I can have on this table are the ice cubes and the peach slices. But I will trust you that it's really good.
It's, you know, it's nice and tart. It's got a lot of that fruit flavor.
And then what else did you bring in?
And it's also really great in an eggnog. So we made an eggnog that uses Cohasset punch as the spirit base. You know, a lot of times we'll use rum or brandy, or, you know, sometimes like a fortified wine, like a port or a sherry, but that's sort of all what's in here. So,
and then finally, we've very little time left, but for our beer lovers, what have you done?
So this is what we're calling the Pilsner Punch. There's a brand called Sipes. It's another old Chicago brand that came back after it went out of business during Prohibition. And it's just, you know, fill a glass with ice, put some Sipes Pilsner, pre-Prohibition Pilsner in there, top it with 1.5 ounces of Cohasset punch, and then you've got an orange slice and a little bit of rosemary for, you know, some festive holiday.
You can't beat it. All right, Greg, thank you so much for coming and bartending for us. You can pick up your Cohasset punch at Binny's. It's available all year round.
Yes, thank you so
Greg,
much.
Best of luck to you. Thank you for reviving this really fun recipe. We'll be right back. Wrigleyville is lighting up this season as Winterland at Gallagher Way returns, and Jake shows us what visitors can expect this year.
That's right, guys. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas here at Gallagher Way. We're in the shadow of Wrigley. Take a look around. There are plenty of holiday Christmas activities to keep you busy over the coming weeks. Here to tell us all about it, we got my friend Jordan. Jordan, there is so much going on out here, and it is my favorite cost of all time. It is FREE. Is that right?
Yes, free 99 to come into Winterland and just walk around and enjoy the sights and the sounds. There is, the Chris Kindle Market we've got here, booths and food and holiday shopping available for purchase. You can ride the train in the Wrigley Field Concourse, ice skate on the Gallagher ice rink behind me, but everything else is just free to enjoy and walk around and have a good time.
It's exactly what you want to make of it. If you want to come out here and grab a raclette sandwich or grab some cider, you can do that, but you can also just come out here and enjoy it. I gotta say, something about an ice rink behind us in the shadow of Wrigley. I mean, how many people can say that they have been on ice skates in the shadow of Wrigley Field? This is pretty cool, and this is actually going on a little bit later than the rest of Winterland. Is that right?
Yeah, so Chris Kindle Market will close on December 31st, but the Gallagher Ice Rink here is open until February 15th of next year, and we'll have themed skate nights in the new year. Friday, December 5th at 6 p.m. is our tree lighting ceremony, also free to attend. It's a great opportunity for the community to just come together and really kick off the holidays and kick off Winterland.
Love that. Now, I'm a movie fan. I love watching a great Christmas holiday movie. Is it true you guys are doing some Christmas movies out here?
Yes, we've got select Thursdays in December. We're doing holiday movies. We've got Elf, The Polar Express, and How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Love that. And before we go, obviously some of the most coveted items in Chicago this time of year are those Chris Kindle Market mugs. Yeah. You guys have them here.
We do. Yeah, we've got the mugs for this year. They change up from year to year, and they run out. So get here early, get your mugs. We've got a couple styles as well for kids. So just a nice commemorative piece to have fun.
I'm grabbing like 30 of them on the way out. All right, really quick, one more time, give us that website so people can keep up to date on all the latest information.
GallagherWay.com.
Jordan, you rock. All right, guys, I'm going to grab my cameraman, D. I'm going to send him out. Come on, D, just get out on the ice. Here, I got you. As we toss it back to you guys in the studio, get on out there, D. You'll be fine.
Poor D. All right, Caitlin will have a final check of the forecast next.
Remember.